So hey guys, this is part 2 of the reasons why I no longer speak to my sister, and that's official. So the last of where I left off was when I was mentioning about making my third attempt of adopting a dog, and this was in an animal shelter near my area, and how the animal shelter actually had called me to let me know that I could be able to come over there to pick up one of the puppies. Now the only thing is I could go over there just to see them, but I wasn't going to be able to get them because this was on a Friday, and my sister told me that she was getting paid on a Wednesday, so I had to wait that following week just to get the money. And by that time, it was a possibility that these puppies would be gone because it was a first come, first serve. And for the first breed that I had mentioned was a Chihuahua Shih Tzu. They were gone in a heartbeat. And for the pit bulls, now I already had explained, I can't have a pit bull because my agency doesn't allow it. So by the time when my sister had gotten the money, she had given it to me. Which at that time, it was already too late, and I was really upset. I did go back to the animal shelter to see if they did have dogs that were adoptable, and I was straight out of luck. I really felt sad. And I do have a story time about the animal shelter too, which I have receipts because they don't really have a good reputation. But let me go forward with now what happened between my sister and I, because I did text her because my brother and I, we had a discussion about that whole situation, and he tells me, yeah, this is the money that she got from mom, and I'm like, what? Now, as I said in the first video, was that she said by October she should be on her feet, and to find out that she got the money from my mom. So I confronted her about it. So you can pause and read. And then this. And then this was the last message I sent to her, and I blocked her. So yeah, the last part of what she mentioned before I said F you to her was the part where she's like, I've helped so much, you should find a job. Which, yeah, I felt the burst of anger that if she would have said that in front of my face, I literally would have like cocked my fist and like, you know. So yeah, and back in July of last year, my sister did not have a job, where she was calling to vent and rant to me about what my brother was telling her about her being jobless. And I don't really want to get into her business like that, but my brother did had a valid point with what he was telling her because of the area that she lives in. It's a really pricey area. And he was just telling her to be realistic. That's all I'm going to say for now, but yeah, after that, I was really done with her. Oh, and it doesn't stop from here. So my sister triangulates me with my brother at times, where she will go to him and like whine about what happened between her and I, and will send like screenshots of her text messages, and then my brother comes into the middle of it, and I really did not enjoy that conversation. I made a video about it where I was on the phone crying, and he was just like, oh yeah, you shouldn't, take people for granted because you never know what's going to happen to your sister one day. Now, this is because all of him just mentioning about my cousin, who is the daughter of my aunt, who actually took my grandfather's Social Security checks. My maternal grandfather on top of that. All thanks to my father, because he was trying to see if he can get some money and thought like, oh yeah, let's go to my sister and ask her boyfriend if he can cash the check. Yeah, and she ended up dipping into it herself. And of course, I'm just so over it. I'm so over all of the abuse, of financial abuse, being gaslit, having that, scapegoat treatment, the whole works. And what makes it even more of a pain in the ass was that my brother would used to have me in these group chats where, boom, my sister was on it. And even though I blocked her in WhatsApp, you could still contact the person you blocked on a group chat. Sweet, right? So my brother made an announcement that he was coming from Maryland to New York to see the family. Then texts me, oh yeah, I don't know how you are with the family and all, but I'm going to be in Queens at this location and such and such. And my response to it was, okay, have a good time. And this was like the last week of December before we hit into this year. And I guess my presence spoke in very high volumes. The next thing I noticed was that my sister had sent me money on Cash App for my mother. And I'm like, what is this for? And she was like, oh, this is for Christmas. Once again, this is a hoovering process. I'm not falling for that shit. And it's really hard. It's very hard because, you want to reach out to the person that has gifted you and, give them gratitude. But at the same time, this is how they suck you in. And then you're right back into the abuse. I mean, it might not happen right away, but eventually it's going to come back. And it is the most energetically draining feeling. It is the most depressing feeling in the world. And it saddens me. Yes, and still to this day. Now, my sister, she sent me a message through the group chat about dogs for adoption, and I just was not falling for it again. I had enough. That was the last time I heard from my sister, and her birthday had passed, at the beginning of March, and I just did not want to make the effort to contact her to wish her a happy birthday because I'm done. And I have to admit, I do feel really sad, where I'm just going through this whole grieving process again because I had made my decision back in 2022, like a few months before it was going to end. And my sister was just being very, forceful and very pushy about coming back into my life and seeing if things can work out from, last year to now. Like, I'm very sure. I mean, even to the point, like, you even prove my point why I don't even want a relationship with you guys anymore. I mean, right now I'm in low contact with my brother. That's the only person that I still speak to. But as far as it comes to my father, my mother, and her, I'm really done. So yeah, I just wanted to pour my heart out about this because it has been making me feel, very depressed. Because I love my family so much, but at the same time, now having a clear vision of who I've been dealing with since I've been a child are people that are not really good for me. So I think I'm going to end this story time from here. And I thank you so much if you actually stayed through the whole video. So have a great day, y'all.